What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Headfreeze here, back with episode number 3. This one contains 3 entitled parent stories. Just sit back and enjoy. Entitled parent tries to take credit for my science project. As a high school student, I recently had to do a science project. The teacher gave us half a year, but most kids just procrastinated. I pulled a couple late nights trying to finish it. So the science fair rolls around and I set mine up. It had something to do with aerodynamics and car shapes, if you are wondering. I go grab something I left in my mom's car. She drives off, and as I'm walking back, I see some woman reading mine. I didn't really care. I just finished setting up and go to class. At break, I come back and see the same woman with someone I assumed was her son, still at my project. Seemed sus, but I was too lazy to shoot them off. So everyone had a designated time slot during the day in which you were supposed to present with your parent, and it was posted in the gym. Unfortunately, I had to finish a math test before I could go, and my mom and dad both worked too far away to come and help me. When I got there, the judges were talking to the same mom and kid at my project, so I ran over and the mom was talking to the judges about my project, except she was giving credit to her son about it. Basically, she read all the information I collected and wrote and learned, then taught it to her piece of son to regurgitate to the judges. I then intervened. Hey, this is my project. Who are you? The owner of this project? No, this is my son's project. No, it isn't. The judges were confused at this point. At this point, the EM starts yelling, "My son deserved this more than you. Then he should have done the work. He needs to win this for a scholarship. So do I." The judges try to intervene, while the son is telling the judges that this was his project. Eventually, the teacher rolls around and points out that my name, not the SS. The EM and SS are kicked out and I present my work to the judges. Later I learned the SS had to repeat the class again since it was a benchmark. If anyone was wondering, I got 3rd place, but I think it was just a pity prize, to be honest. Entitled parent pay my effing's daughter's meal. I'll make it short. So after being single in years, I sorta missed the sweet warm exchange of what it feels like exchanging emotions towards the opposite sex. So I decided to go on Tinder. So after going through numerous people on Tinder, I finally found a person who I had a lot in common with. Apparently, it was all just a lie. After days of talking, we finally decided to go on a date. At first, I wanted to go out and have some coffee, but she insisted to go out and eat in a restaurant. So we went to Earl's. I love Earl's. The both of us met up and had a lot of laugh, where I even made jokes about myself, like how my dog sits on top of my head every morning to wake me up. When we got to the restaurant, we sat down and asked for our orders. I ordered the salmon and lava cake for dessert, while she ordered 2 entrees and dessert. I was like, wow, that's one hell of an appetite. Yeah, especially when it's free. I silently said, what? And convinced myself that this is what gentlemen do, and that paying for someone's meal shows the extent of one's generosity. Throughout the entire meal, she was on her phone taking pictures of me and her food, while texting with her friends on how much fun she's having. Every time I tried to start a conversation with her, she got mad and told me not to interrupt. 10 to 15 minutes later, she was still on her phone, texting and taking pictures of me and her food. I got sad and just asked for the waitress if I could pay separately. I got upset and I got up and bluntly said, "I'm sorry, I kinda don't wanna be in this rude and horrible date anymore." Yeah. The next day, she texted me and said, How dare you left me in a restaurant without paying. Because of you, I had to call my dad and pay for my meal." What? You didn't bring any money? Do you really expect me or anyone to pay for a meal with an attitude like that? You were on your phone the entire time. Blah blah blah. You owe my dad 50 Canadian bucks. Huh? No. You know I got a picture of you on my phone. What you gonna do? Show and tell how much of a asshole I am in your group chat? Ha ha ha. Good luck with that. After that, I ignored her, and a couple of hours later, her dad called, just to tell me how much of a terrible man I am and that I should pay the rest that I owed him. I told him no, I told him the whole story but denied all claims of what I've said towards her daughter and claimed that she was the perfect little angel. Blah blah blah, I'm a terrible person, blah blah blah. I literally just called him and hanged up. And now, the last story for today is entitled Idiot Kid Gets Stung by Pet Scorpion. Entitled Mother Throws a Fit. Why do I run into so many of these pricks? Now I find out my neighbor is one too? Just great. I've had a huge emperor scorpion for 5 years now. I got him when I was 13 and I've taken great care of him ever since. Just one problem, he can be super aggressive. You can handle him just fine, but if you shake around or grab him, then he will not hesitate to sting it out of you. It's no worse than a bee sting, but it still hurts regardless. I usually don't let people handle him because I don't want them to get stung and accidentally drop him, but I make exceptions for the people that I know. This story takes place last Saturday when my mom had a party and invited a bunch of neighbors, two of them being EM and her kid, DS. From the get-go, I can tell the DS is bratty. I caught him pulling my dog's tail twice, knocking it over and whining for food and attention the majority of the party. EM thought this was adorable. Meanwhile, everyone else is just annoyed. There were other little kids there who were perfectly behaved, so DS has no excuse. About an hour in, my mom approaches me with DS whining at her feet. She tells me DS is bored and that he wants to see my room. I don't like this because I have a lot of breakable up there, and I know he's going to want to hold a scorpion. I reluctantly take him upstairs, and before I know it, he's putting his grubby little hands all over my stuff. I didn't mind as long as he didn't throw or smash anything, which knowing this prog was likely to happen. I let him snoop around for a while, and before I can tell him time's up, he points to my terrarium and shouts, "What's in there?" I tell him it's not safe, but he doesn't care. He straight up runs over to it, rips the lid off, and looks for whatever is inside. I see the scorpion back into his den and I can tell he isn't happy. I shoo DS away and tell him it's not a safe animal. This makes him angry and he yells, "I don't care, I wanna see it." I tell him no again and DS screams. This little clearly wasn't used to not getting his way. The scorpion is now scuttling around the enclosure after being spooked by the noise DS was making. DS presses his face to the glass of the terrarium and hopes at the animal. He turns to me. "I wanna hold it." "I'm sorry, but it's not safe." "But I want to." Again, it's not safe. He stings and I don't want you to drop him. "So, if he stings me, I'll just throw him." "Don't you dare." DS shuts up and I gently let the scorpion walk onto my hand. I put him a few inches over my desk and let him scuttle around for a while DS watches. "So am I gonna get to hold him or not?" "I already told you no, I don't want you to get hurt." I want to. DS is on the verge of a temper tantrum now, but I'm not gonna give in to some little kid's demands. "No." This brat starts wailing and jumping up and down. I feel a sharp pain in my forearm and turn to see the scorpion stinger buried in it. I quickly try to put him back in the terrarium, but not before DS grabs it out of my hands. Of course, the scorpion stings him right on his finger. DS lets out a ear-splitting screech and drops the scorpion onto the desk, and I scoop him into the terrarium. I don't attempt to calm DS down because he brought this on himself. I hear both EM and my mom race upstairs and EM starts screaming at me. "What did you do to him?" "Nothing. EK got stung by my scorpion." "And you didn't help him?" "No, he snatched it out of my hands after I repeatedly told him it was." "Don't talk back to me." "Is this true, DS?" DS nods but then goes on to say he wanted to hold it. "So let me get this straight. Your kid wouldn't listen to my son's warning and then grab the dangerous animal because he was told no?" Sounds like he needs to learn some respect. If your son here wasn't such a selfish little this wouldn't have happened. If your son wasn't such a dumbass, it would have happened. How dare you? I not. EM demanded she be allowed to kill my pet scorpion. My dad came in and told her that if she touched me or my pet, then he would throw her down the stairs. EM grabs her wailing kid by the wrist and drags him out of the house, but not before saying she was going to sue us. Good luck. Alright everyone, that's it for this episode. I really had a blast reading these stories, as Entitled Parents is my favorite subreddit as of now. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe for future videos. See all of you tomorrow. Peace.